Are we live? Are we there? Are we ready? Are we rolling? And can everybody hear everything? Hey, what's up? I'm late. I know I'm late, but let me see. Reading up in the chat. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh yeah, no, we did it. We did it. Everybody's here. What's up, Redneck Gamer? Beer Battered Aggie Syndrome. I see Stream Bum. Are you an Aggie? Are you Texas A&M fighting Texas Aggie? Score never runs out. Texas Aggie. You get the idea? Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Let's see. What do we got this? I am just catching. Oh my gosh. And see, we are really flying by the seat of our pants, aren't we? We are just going. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Robert Schmitz. I am here to break down the Chicago Bears. I've got a trimmed beard. I need to get a haircut here at some point. And we are ready to roll, aren't we? So the question is where you guys want to start, TBH. Like, at this point, do y'all want to start talking about, you know what, I'll do the whole corny monologue thing. What's up, Ryan? What's going on, Jordan? I'll start here at the top, talking through everything. A-Song, I like the idea of that. What, they already broke down versus the Packers? But so, going through this game is funny. Because let's start with what matters, right? For some reason, at least based on what I saw, I think it was the fact that the Bears lost to the Packers, right? But I saw a ton of conversation regarding Justin Fields, you know, JF number one, and how he's bad now. That there are a whole lot of people that took a look at Justin Fields' game, and they said, okay, he's really struggling. When are you going to talk about how he's struggling? Like, I think some stuff that I heard was comparing him directly to Trubisky. People talked about how he is the worst. Justin Fields, Justin Fields is currently the worst performing. Dadgummit, Cosmo just wants to get in the breakdown. Justin Fields right now has the worst adjusted net yards per attempt out of all 5 rookie quarterbacks, counting Trey Lance, who's the highest, small sample size, but next best would be Mac Jones. So you can go through all that. You absolutely can, and say Justin Fields is struggling. But I actually thought that this was as close to a full professional game as I've seen Fields play. He did it against not the Lions. I find that a positive. And we're going to go through it. Like, we're going to go through a whole bunch. Obviously, as always, we go through practically every play, for crying out loud. But there's a whole bunch of stuff as I keep watching this kind of... or as I kept watching this game, little plays, little things that Fields did that I think there are real cause to get excited about, that I get the impression a lot of people are just sort of letting go, you know? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of... My cat is just sitting on my lap. He's never done this before. But so, there's a whole bunch of fun stuff to get into this. There's a lot of positivity, a lot of negativity, a lot of defensive up and down, and a lot of cause, as I swear happens every time us Bears fans go through and review the Packers. A lot of reason to appreciate what they do on offense and reasons to get upset about what we do on offense. But that's exactly how it goes. So, like, let's start, because I feel like every time we do one of these streams, by the way, which is an interesting one, right? So... Let's go through some plucked out plays from the group. You guys have already mentioned some good ones, so let's cover them. Those Justin Fields interceptions before we just sort of go through the rest, right? At least that's where my head is at. So we're going to go through. We're going to talk about the pick, the almost pick, and a couple more, and then we'll talk whole offense after a couple people have joined, because it tends to seem to work out that way. But so let's dive in. And by the way, if we don't get the audience we normally do, I'm just going to go ahead and chalk it up to nobody wants to watch Bears Packers again, which is hilarious because who would? Just us crazies. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let me break out my notepad here, because I think these plays that y'all have talked about are maybe some of the stranger ones Fields has had this year. He's already had some pretty strange ones, but these were great ones to start at. Patrick McCarthy, thank you so much for jumping in. So let's go ahead and get to No, not that one. It's this play, isn't it? Let's see. Yep. Okay, so let me get Epic Pen pulled up. Come on, you're killing me. All right, so let's kill it. Let's bring it back up because I got to get my pen up. Here we go. Let's see. I'm excited. I'm excited, Redneck. But so, let's see. Yeah. No, this is... There we go. All right, we've got our pen. We're ready to roll. Bomb time. All right, so here we go. Let's see. So what we're watching right here, just so we're all on the same page, is we're watching these two guys first things first, right? This is the exciting part of the play. These two defenders in this little box are going to... Your call, you tell me, do they jump off sides? Do they not? Here's the play, right? So we'll back it up just a little bit further than that, as we've got right here. Case, we're doing whatever we can. So we've got those two, they jump right before the play works, and as they do, it looks as if Justin Fields, the quarterback, takes a look. He takes a look at these two guys jumping and thinks he's got a free play. Now, do they flinch? I think they do. Do they jump? I think they don't. That's my take right here. I also don't think Jason Peters jumps. So whether or not the Bears, or whether or not this is a free play, because see, he's moved from just a couple feet forward. Like, this is the full extent of the flinch, and I don't think it's a neutral zone infraction. Last thing I want to do is sit here and say that the Bears got screwed. But in this case, I don't think they did. Like, this is as far as they've gotten. It's always hard to tell where the neutral zone even is at this stage. So I know that they haven't gotten over the ball. None of the Bears jumped. And so while we've seen Akeem Hicks get called for this exact kind of motion, like we've seen defenders flinch and get called for offsides, I don't think this is technically offsides. But at this stage, obviously Justin Fields thinks it is. So here's the rest of the play, and then we'll go over what he's got going on. So he launches this ball thinking, I've got a free play, and it gets picked off in the end zone. Huge bummer. Well, that's so Jordan, I would tell you that Peters flinches, but Peters flinches so close to the snap itself that it might have been one of those that they just sort of let go. Hi, 2K7. Thank you so much for jumping on in. You have no idea how much even little $10 contributions help. So thank you, I guess, to the Urinating Tree United States of America. I don't know how I ended up in there, but what can I say? The tip of the hat, I guess. But so the key here that I think is awfully strange is that I have seen tons of I've seen tons of these exact plays get called offsides. Well, like we said earlier, I think I already said it, but I'm taking a few deep breaths trying to get my feet right back under me. Akeem Hicks got called for this just last year. I've seen defenses get called for flinching, which can be kind of let's call it weird, but because that's not the rule. Generally, the defense is supposed to be able to do exactly what they do. But at this point, by the time Jordan, the left tackle, flinches, and by the time these guys are up and into their stance, I don't know, kind of doesn't feel like yeah, Jordan, that makes sense. But it doesn't feel to me like an offsides. But what I don't love, because exactly like you're saying, Adrian, it would have been a ticky-tack call. What I don't love is the fact that I kind of get the impression that, you remember how we talked earlier in the offseason about how Justin Fields wasn't getting repped with the ones and that was a problem? Well, this is exactly that. Because what you're going to get right here is you're going to get Darnell Mooney running it's an outside release go route up the sidelines, and Allen Robinson running a deep post over the middle. The goal here is to split the safety. And hey, credit to Mooney, he's going to beat his guy so cleanly that the safety's going to have to retreat to go make a play on it. Take a look here as Mooney runs straight by his guy with the safety now shading backwards. This leaves Allen Robinson wide, buck naked open over the middle. Look at this deep post right here. Look at all that space. Beautiful. Perfect, right? But if you've taken a look at the pocket, you're going to see that Elijah Wilkinson has gotten smoked. I mean, he is toast, barbecue chicken. So as he goes to load his throw, he sees at this point, oh, thank you so much, Beer Battered Aggie Syndrome. You have no idea. Hey, I'll take a look. Like, the Bears could use some extra O-linemen, so that would totally work. But so, at this stage, Justin Fields feels the pressure from what is basically an unblocked rusher who's got a direct path to him at this point. And so you're going to see him adjust right here, adjust, reset, and launch the ball. Now, Allen Robinson's still wide open. Like, if he had kept running his route, it's fine. It's a little bit late, but it's fine, nevertheless. What I think happens here is that if we go back a little bit, well, I'll show you where to look, and then you can see for yourself. Allen sees him roll out, and he must have assumed that Justin Fields, being a young quarterback, and maybe Allen Robinson thought back to, Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky, but he seems to have thought that because Fields started to roll out, there was no chance that he was going to reset his feet and then blast the ball downfield. But here, obviously, Fields resets his feet and gets the ball downfield. Like, if he's still running, I can't say that I have a problem with this throw. I can't. There's no way. Thank you so much, Death Wish. I have no idea whether you're pulling that from the anime. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's good. So that's cool. But so, yeah, at this point, so the weird part about this play is that I don't think that Fields did anything wrong. I really didn't in this specific setup. Like, Allen Robinson gets the deep post wide open. Fields does exactly what we've ever wanted a Chicago quarterback to do, as this guy beats him right here. He feels the pressure, but he rolls out, he resets, and he launches the ball back downfield. Robinson just gives up. Like, okay, so did he give up or did he stop running? You tell me, but either way, you can clearly tell that these two are not on the same page. Like, they're not with each other on how this is going to work, which is a real pain because it's still a touchdown. And Fields is obviously able to launch this ball very, very nicely into the end zone. And Jordan, I hear you on potentially trying to make it a better or a harder catch for the safety, but there's only so many places you can put this ball in a way that doesn't end up where the safety can make a play on it, but also Allen Robinson can get under it. Yeah, this one is it's not good. Like, again, I don't want to sit here all night. You won't hear it, by the way. And Beer Battered, I would say whoop, but only you can. I'm a Baylor Bear, so you get the idea. But I'm gonna be respectful. But so it is really intriguing to me, this idea that Fields does everything that you would want a young quarterback to do. I love the reset. I've seen way too many quarterbacks just run, and as soon as they get out of the pocket, the only guys they're looking at are Mooney. They're not even paying attention to Robinson because God knows that nobody rolling out would be able to dot the referee with the ball. Like, you get the idea. But so at this stage, he rolls out, resets his feet. Russell Wilson would do exactly the same thing. Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, like tons of these quarterbacks that Bears fans are dying for Fields to emulate, would reset his feet exactly like he does. Pressure in his face, still pressure. It's not as if he gets out of the way and doesn't take the pressure. So he resets because he knows he's got to make the throw, but Robinson had turned it into a curl. I mean, hey, credit to look, maybe for all you guys that are in here early, maybe the answer is that Allen Robinson knows what Matt Nagy likes. And what Matt Nagy likes, as I'm sure we all agree, is curl routes, right? So maybe Allen Robinson just thinks to himself, what would Matt Nagy do, right? WWMND, and he would curl. This is a joke. I don't think so, because Robinson probably expects a scramble drill at this point where he's got to turn back around. But by the time he figures out what's going on, he sees this ball way, way over his head. He kind of fights to get back to it. Doesn't make it there. It's sad. It's a very sad play. Like, there's no pretending that this play is good at this point. And Aaron Rodgers talked about it after the game. If he did think it was a free play, I would prefer to see Fields check with the official. That's one that I think he probably did. Like, it's a learning moment either way. It's a nice punt, like you said, John. Elon, great to see you. But it is an absolute rocket of a throw, to be totally realistic. Like, he's throwing this from the 44. I think Case was talking about this, and just lets that ball howl and gets it what looks like bang, so about 7 yards deep in the end zone. That is ridiculous. So those are the kinds of plays that you want to see Fields keep at it. You just want to see the wide receivers live up to the billing. Like Jaco's saying, he should have never stopped running the route, I don't think, anyways. But so, like, man, this is wild to me. On a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of these kinds of plays I would look at and I would say, man, you would hope that works out. I really think Justin Fields' box score kind of lies. But I'm not trying to go crazy. This is just the first pick. But so let's go ahead and take a look at the second one, right? Well, first I'll let you I'll let you guys take a look at the end zone angle before we move on, while we still let everybody who wants to brave the Packers game jump in. But so Fields takes a look at the out route by Mooney, gets out, resets, steps through the pressure, lets the ball loose. I really have no problem with it. This is the aggressive mindset you want in your quarterback, in my opinion. Like, you've got a shot downfield, you take a shot downfield. It's just a matter of making sure they fit together, that they mesh. And what I can't stand at this point is just the idea that, so reportedly, if the Bears blog is someone to believe, right? If you believe DeBear's blog's reports, then it sounded as if Matt Nagy may have planned to start Justin Fields the whole time, like around week 4. That the plan was always to let Justin Fields play a couple games, or like let him sit for a couple games, get a feel for what everything's supposed to look like as far as travel, road, home, road. You get the idea. And this is exactly the kind of play that I can't help but think to myself that Allen Robinson in training camp could have very easily learned what Justin Fields' tendencies were had they gotten the opportunity to play together, but they didn't. Instead, Allen Robinson knows how Andy Dalton's going to handle this setup, and that's it, right? And so I'm a little bummed, a little disappointed. Like, we talked about it in the preseason that there were going to be growing pains that came from their lack of chemistry, and this looked like it. Like, and it's not just one play, right? Like, we've talked at length about this one as a bit of an appetizer, but we've got another appetizer coming up with what is the example? Or the other pick, right? And so let's get there after this one. I'll pull up the old notepad-a-rooney here, and it is, let me see. Yep. Okay, so the other one is over at, I think it is the 29:38 mark. It is memory serves. It's 2nd and 5, by the way. Well, this one right here is just a standard give. It sets them up to like whatever it is. We'll take a look at the down and distance. Always hard to tell on these sorts of things. Jordan.